India today. This is Anita Britto in conversation with Ashwin. Hi Ashwin.
Namaste Anita, thank you for having me.
Thank you. ये देख के तो genuinely we felt like we are watching something very unique and different.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much for all the gratitude too.
It looks amazing on screen. And I'm sure there is, when you depict someone like Narishimha on screen, it's a huge responsibility.
True.
I want to understand from you, how did you approach this idea firstly, and how do you feel about the responsibility? Because again, when you depict someone like Lord Narishimha, it's there are a lot of people who are watching you, who are trying to see एक चीज देखने में ध्यान रखेंगे.
Yes.
How have you managed to work on that?
See, the idea, of course, was to depict Lord Narishimha with all his reverence and all his glory, right? But the prism with which I approached this is the prism of bhakti and the prism of me being very enamored with Lord Narishimha as a part of our lives, because we are bhakts also, right? We rever Lord Vishnu and he is very important to us. Of course, Narishimha Bhagwan being one of our most predominant protection deity, and we pray to him every day in our lives, in our homes, at our homes, yes. So the idea was to have that kind of a bhakti enamored vision rather than a skewed vision of offensive or non-offensive, because that is the least of my concern. For me, it's all about glorification, not offensive. But yes, of course, just to keep ourselves neck and neck with not falling into that category, we ensure that we are having the shastras and all the lok kathai, or you have so many regional stories around the same depiction of the Lord and the stories around the Leelas. The idea is to get all those little nitty-gritties and somehow put it in style into the film, so that all the people who relate to him subjectively are happy.
But when you're making it for a big screen, have you taken any cinematic liberties as such?
We have avoided some major exaggeration. For example, like in the Shastras, when you read, Bhak Praad is basically sent to the hostel or the Gurukul in that point of time twice. We just put it in once. These are little nuances, but the spirit and the learning and the lessons are pretty much kept the same, right? So that is just because you have a 2 hour 10 minutes feature, so you need to contain everything in, right? And of course, he goes through much more in the Shastras than what we could depict in this 2 hours 11 minutes. But we try to keep the intensity and keep the learnings at par.
But why animation, if I may ask? Because you could have done it in, how what
Yes, in a live action.
Yeah.
So 2 or 3 reasons. Animation being a medium which gives me a sense of space of exaggeration. And when you're telling these fantastical tales of our gods who are not just moving in a bipedal way, but in a very fantastical way. You have 8 arms, So to depict that in live action, it kind of just, that is unjust to the character of the film. Right? So you need that space of exaggeration. But we kept the style very realistic. So you'll see when you say Bhak Praad, you feel it's more real. You feel connected with the eyes, with the emotion. Keeping the emotion alive, keeping the exaggeration high, we wanted that kind of a medium, and I think animation does quite a justice to it. Second being, animation kind of a medium is a very pure medium of art, which is a storytelling medium for a pure form of the god, right? So we wanted to have a very pure form. When I say pure, I don't mean live action being impure, but what I mean to say is when you have an actor playing a certain role, those actors' lives are being projected on gods, and gods are being projected on actors. And we kind of have a history of that in so many years, you can see. So I did not want to fall into that kind of situation, or for the film to be in that situation. I wanted people to rever the god as he is, rever the Bhakt as he is, and understand the antagonist as he is. That is the idea of animation.
But you never thought about having that live actors?
Well, it would have cost 100 times more. So the budget obviously would have been constrained, and animation being one of my creative fields also. I have been to live actions too, but animation is something that I get a lot of control in. And animation also, you must understand that is an industry that in India still needs that revolution, I feel. Although we have a lot of animation skilled artists who are serving a lot of international projects, but yet you still have a indigenous animation industry that's kind of missing. So we are also trying to win that uphill battle and trying to open up that industry. And that's why I seek support from everyone alike, because you need to have this indigenous industry for indigenous tales so that an entire economic revolution around these industry can happen.
But hypothetically, if I may ask, if you had to choose someone for the role of Lord Narishimha, who would that be and why?
I think I would still have at least Lord Narishimha produced digitally, even if I was doing this in live action. Why? Because he cannot be depicted by an actor. That's given. Even if I were to do a live action, I would still have him as a digital, very hyper realistic version.
And what otherwise than the other character?
I think for Hiranyakashyap, I would have I would have thought of from South India Mohanty ji or Rana Dagopati, one of the two. They would be quite appropriate.
Interesting. That would very interesting.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, you know.
Or Vijay Sethupathi also would be very apt for that kind of a feature. But we have many more films coming, so we can speak with them.
That was one of my questions.
Yes.
But I want to understand, like you said, you know, when you have actors playing these kind of characters,
Yes.
Their personality or the way they live their life also
Yes.
translates. Does that become difficult, especially when you're making a mythological film?
Yes, when you're making a saga film especially, like come to think of it, it took us for 4.5 years. So if an actor was to commit for 4.5 years, that's very difficult, right? People don't commit to the jobs for the 4.5 years, right? You have an actor, you want them, for a debut director like me, to commit for a 4-5 year haul, I think would be unjust even on my part. And that's practically not correct, I feel. So, but yet we've tried to use digital mediums to produce lifelike and soulful characters to be able to relate. So I don't think you will quite miss out on that either.
I'm looking forward to it. On the other hand, you know, now from Kantara to Adi Kurush, now Narsimha and Ramayana is also in the making. Suddenly there is a search for this mythological films.
Yeah.
Why do you think there's a sudden surge now, and do you think the audiences are open to, you know, such films?
A part of it has got to do with a lot of mundane cinema that's been out there for so many years, and there's a vacuum and this kind of flavor, because this is a Bharat Bhumi. It has its own tales, you know, that are embedded in our DNAs, which have not been, unfortunately, been there on a big screen for quite some time. And when it surges, even in any little way, be it a Bahubali or an RRR or a Kantara, it just blows up, right? Because we have a vacuum of this kind of that's waiting to be filled. And I believe that these tales coming back on the screen kind of tells you the kind of demand that this has, right? And this is an attempt to fulfill basically that demand.
And also, you know, you spoke about budget. Budget plays a very important role in terms of films like this. And Ramayana again is made on a massive budget of 4,000 crores. What is your take on that? How do you look at it? Did you see the first?
Yes, it's fantastic. It's fantastic, and I really pray and I really hope they do a brilliant turnaround industry event with that scale, that huge a budget. Yes, budget plays a huge role in it. But at the same time, I think what is more important than just a budget is the feeling the film carries. It's a piece of art at the end of the day. And how you depict art is what the impressionist of the artist has gone into. And that is where I feel, as a Mahaavatar cinematic universe, I'm trying to give to the people of the world, is that cinematic, spiritual, transcending experience. That is the idea of a Mahaavatar universe.
But does budget also make it difficult to have your producers and all also have to be on the same page as you when you?
Yeah, so but that's what Bharat is about. It's about jugaad, right? Right? You're thrown off the building, and on your way down you have to make a parachute and just glide your way out. And we have learned the process of doing that in so many ways. Chandrayaan being one example, right?
Yeah.
So it can be done, right? And here's an example. We've tried to do it. It may not be the best as of yet, but yet it will become best if we keep striving. But should we not strive because it's not been done before? Is not the place we are anymore, because that time is over. It's a new age cinema in new hands of new age people, from the land of Bharat, created by Bharatiyas for the stories of Bharat, for the people of Bharat. That is how we need to look at this. Right? We may be constrained in budgets, but we have a very open source minefield of intelligence, which this land DNA is also there, and which you can see has such a effect, resounding effect around the world, and the biggest companies of the world having CEOs of India, right? So that is no coincidence, right? So we just need to imbibe it into our own industries. I think that's what we're trying to do.
But with AI coming in the picture, does it make it difficult for the other industry, especially animation again, because it is very close to...
Yes and no. I think it's a boon more than a problem. Like I talked to a lot of people about it, where they kind of feel that it's going to take over and we're going to a hellhole filled with AI. I feel use it. See, AI can mimic skills, but one thing it does not have is heart, right? What you and me can feel as human, AI cannot feel that, right? So it does not know what works as a feeling, right? It can punch out stuff to you. So, but whilst it does that, what we can do instead is use and harness the power of AI ethically to produce something that took Mahaavatar for 4.5 years to make. I believe it's going to take 1.5, 2 years to make now, harnessing the power of AI. Of course, we still use CG, but we use AI integrated into our pipelines to make things faster, right? And the consumption and the production will increase because of AI. And that is where the balance will come. But what will actually survive is something that touches your heart, right? So I think it's a boon.
Did you think of trying AI for this somewhere?
We have, but when we had started, AI was nowhere in the picture. By the time we finished the film, AI was everywhere. But we did use some AI here and there to make things better, to enhance. But it's not integrated as a main film. It's still a more CG film. And some AI in our workflows, pipelines is still there.
Can you tell me a fact that you didn't know about Lord Narishimha, which you found out while making this film? Something that just blew your mind away?
Okay, so very interestingly, so you see Bhak Praad. I'll tell you about Bhak Praad in the prism of Lord Narishimha. So Bhak Praad is always chanting the names of Vishnu, right? Lord Vishnu. But Hiranyakashyap is a bigger Bhak that is because he's remembering Vishnu more all the time, right? So you can actually counter question who is a bigger Bhakta between Prahlad and Hiranyakashyap. So Hiranyakashyap, I believe, is although in a mode of anger, right? He's always remembering the Lord also, but in the mode of anger. And that is why Lord takes such an angry form, to fulfill that wish. This is a very beautiful prism with which we can, because he fulfills all your wishes, right? For Bhakt, he becomes Soumya and becomes very kind, and right? But for Hiranyakashyap, he becomes the Radha, because that is what he seeks, right? So that is interesting.
I didn't have this.
Yeah.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, and another one is there basically when you read the Natrika Shastra, where it has a depiction of Lord Narishimha. It says that when he was fighting Hiranyakashyap, half his face would look at Hiranyakashyap, half his face would look at Prahlad. So his face looking at Hiranyakashyap would be completely angry, and the face looking at Prahlad would be completely soft. So that's why he cannot be played by human in the real world.
But VFX makes it...
That hence to be, it is possible, of course, through animation, right? But that's why these are the beautiful things that we keep finding.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. But have you thought of this film as a standalone film, or are you planning to expand it as a universe?
All our films are going to be standalone films, yet they will be soon and weaved together, sewn together and weaved together as a collective experience also. So in any which case, whatever you choose and pick in the Mahaavatar universe, you can have a standalone experience as a film, but you won't miss out as a connected story, right? But yet you will be able to connect the story by the time we come towards the end.
Interesting. Apart after this, what are you planning? Which epic character are you planning to bring on?
So we're bringing Mahaavatarpuram after this, and the pre-production is on as we speak at our studio, and that is going to be again larger than life, and it's an avatar that is the warrior form of the Lord, who goes on a killing spree to correct and to bring back dharma amongst the people who have gone wrong, or the administration that has gone wrong, which we see coherent in reminiscing in all the films today, right? Us standing against the system and all that, the anti-system kind of. That actually stemmed from Parshuram, right? And that's what we're going to bring.
You were always drawn to films like this or stories like this, or you had any?
No, I had an epiphany. No, I had an epiphany. I had a calling in my life that kind of changed me. It was a dark night of the soul where I went through certain processes in my life, and these stories and these experiences really gave me an anchor, and I understood the power of it.
But are we going apart I'm sure this will continue and we're looking forward to more. But do you plan to make it in, apart from animation, in other form as well? If, you
Not the same story that we have done or we are doing, but yet, yes, we have a couple of live actions that I'll be directing soon.
Can you talk about some?
Okay, one I will be bringing out Ajamila. It's another epic from the Puranas, but it will be live action. Where we will be, Mahavatar Narishimha is a soft way to awaken the soul. That one is a very hard way to awaken the soul. We'll be doing that. I'll tell more about it later. And we'll also be doing a film on Ardhnarishwar, which is half Shiva, half Shakti. And but that'll be more of a real world, modern world scenario. So it'll have a fantasy element also to it.
With live?
Live. These are both live actions.
And are you in talks with the actors that?
No, I'm scripting it right now, but soon. I have some things in my mind.
Do you keep the actors in mind while writing the script, or is that a script for?
Yeah, when the writing tells you what actor is suited to it. I don't usually write with actor suited for the writing. So because I have to be true to the story, I have to be true to the screenplay and the character. So the character sculpts the actor. That's how I feel it. And then my direction would help the character understand the story and screenplay, and then it meshes into this proper harmony. That is it.
Ashwin, had you watched Kurush, and what were your thoughts on it?
It was an attempt that went kind of wrong. That's all I'll say. Why did it go wrong? There's a lot of science to it. There's a lot of math to it. That's already out there. So no comments. But I understand the kind of things they were trying to do, make an attempt. So, but we learn our lessons. I believe it was a good lesson learned for the industry and the people, even the makers, I believe. And yet the good part is the people of this land are giving chance to the same story yet time and again, because these are eternal stories. So of course, if that did not work, but if told properly, I think it can do wonders.
Yes, so all hopes are on Ramayana.
True.
And
Yeah.
other mythologies that are coming up. Finally, I want to ask you one actor or one of many that you would love to collaborate in the coming years as soon as possible, maybe. Who you have admired a lot?
I think Hrithik Roshan.
Yeah. What about him that? And do you think he fits in a mythology? Because there's a lot of news about him being approached for Ramayana as Ravan.
Oh yeah.
Apparently, he said no for some reason. What do you think? Is he perfect as Ravan?
No. I think Yash is wonderful as Ravan. He has the look. Hrithik is, I think, a demigod personified. If you look at his structure, and he's a very good mover and is a dancer. So I think him playing some sort of a fantastical character, apart from the film that he does, is a part of his career. I think he should. I think I would want to see him in that kind of a fantastic role.
What would be that fantastic?
Probably as the Natraja, a dancer who would create or destroy cosmically.
Wow, that's amazing. Hope people are listening to this and something comes up, or you make one where we can
perhaps
talk about
yes,
more
if by the mercy of Lord Shiva and grace of His, yes.
It will be. Well, thank you so much. It was lovely talking.
Lovely speaking with you also.
And all the very best for.
Thank you. 25th July.
25th July.
Yes. Be there.